one that was laying down sleeping with people. I shouldn't have to go through this. I'm 26 years old with my own kids.
It doesn't matter because I'm your mama and I'm your daddy, and that's what I've been. So
no, you're not my daddy. You ain't my mama. You ain't my mama or my daddy.
In paternity court, there are bad parents, and there are crackheads who happen to be the absolute worst. Mr. Muhammad was present in court to prove that he was the father of the defendant's child, and the only reason she was denying him was because she wanted to be with another man. He began his case like this.
Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn. You claim the only reason she is denying paternity is because she wants to be in a relationship with the other man. Is that correct?
Yes, Sean.
Mr. Muhammad is definitely not ready to allow another man to raise his child. He is ready to fight to the end to prove he is the father, but the defendant, Miss Walton, has some truth bombs of her own to tell the judge. Apparently, she had been cheating on Mr. Muhammad around the window of conception.
I say that because during my conception date, I was having more sexual intercourse with the other guy than Mr. Muhammad.
And you were having sex with this other guy behind his back, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Muhammad around the time Brooklyn was conceived?
Okay, the nature of our relationship was Anwar was already having an affair with another woman.
Is Ms. Walton trying to say she started cheating because she found out Mr. Muhammad was having an affair? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Ms. Walton went on to tell the judge that they were not in a relationship when their daughter was conceived. In her words, they were just living together. But was that really the case?
So you're saying you were in a relationship.
In a relationship.
And you're saying you were not in a relationship when Brooklyn was conceived?
No, we was not in a relationship. We were just living together.
Wow.
And you have an older child together, am I correct?
Yes, 4 years old.
So how did you manage to sneak around with the other guy behind Mr. Muhammad's back?
Well, what happens is we was sneaking off to the hotel.
Wow. With that smirk on her face, trust me, she does not feel bad for cheating on her boyfriend. Now, when Ms. Walton found out she was pregnant, she didn't tell Mr. Muhammad at all. She ran to the other guy she was sleeping with and told him she might be having a baby. But Mr. Muhammad remembered the situation like this.
The moment I found out I was pregnant, I texted guy and I told him I missed my period. Mr. Muhammad, during that time who was living with me, got my phone, looked at the text message, and confronted me.
Ain't wrong. That's wrong, Your Honor. What happened was I came home, she sleep, I looked at her phone, I started seeing a full-fledged text message about having sex, all that stuff. Y'all having a full relationship.
Now that's funny. Looks like Mr. Muhammad missed having his woman in his bed, and that just sent signals of suspicion to his brain. As a result, he could not believe anything she told him. Filled with so much suspicion, Mr. Muhammad decided to snoop through Ms. Walton's phone, and the things he saw left everyone speechless.
Your Honor, he found out through my cell phone. He's the type to like to go through your cell phone. He even took my cell phone for 2 months.
2 months?
Yes, ma'am, and I'm paying the bill.
I never took a cell. Only
Yes,
time
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He took my cell phone, and he took my cell phone and he looked at the text message, which I texted the guy and told him. He confronted me and asked me, why are you texting this guy? And I told him, I said, well, it's a possibility I could be pregnant.
I thought that was your cousin.
Like I said, Ms. Walton sure doesn't look like she regrets cheating on Mr. Muhammad. Moving on, when it came to the window of conception, Mr. Muhammad and Ms. Walton had different memories of the dates and when they believed their child was conceived. Here's how they both remember the events.
I know the date. The date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. We was in the mood. She was in the mood. She go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we have Brooklyn.
Do you remember this day, Ms.
On
Walton?
the sink.
Your Honor, I remember us having sex at my house, not his mother's house.
It's really hard not to feel sad for Mr. Muhammad. He would give anything for that child to be his, but Ms. Walton just had to break his heart. Judge Lauren decides to dig deeper by asking Ms. Walton why she believes the other man is the father of her child and not Mr. Muhammad, and then this happens.
Oh, I take care of him too.
No, you do not.
I ask you all the time.
Listen. I'm trying to understand the logic. Like, as I listen to your testimony, Ms. Walton, honestly, I keep saying to myself, well, what reason does she have to make up this lie? Like, you've got one baby with the man, so you're stuck with him. And if you had another one with him, you all would just be co-parenting and figuring that out. What benefit is it?
That explains why she wants the other man to be the father of the child. She feels the other man would be a much better father than Mr. Muhammad. Interesting. That wasn't the only shocking thing. When Judge Lauren asked Ms. Walton if she had a relationship with the other man, this was the truth bomb she dropped.
So do you want to be with this other man too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now Now it makes sense.
Now, that's what she wants. She's trying to make that baby belong to this man. That I don't even know this man.
Have you started that relationship?
No.
Ain't gonna work.
No.
Ain't gonna
Well,
work.
why?
He's married for number one.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
He's married for number one.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
That came as a shock to the judge. Anyway, this is the end of the line for Ms. Walton's lies and delusion. The results are in, and Judge Lauren is more than ready to find out who the father of the child is. This was her verdict.
Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes. I told you. I know what I'm talking about, baby. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
Right now, you have 2 children together. Let's stop making this a fight. Do you understand?
Yes.
I feel like everything between you 2 is a fight.
Your Honor, if she can pay...
Mr. Muhammad, you got to learn when to be quiet.
In this case, Ms. Looper thought she had met the love of her life, but sadly that wasn't the case. She claimed that after she gave birth to her fraternal twins, the defendant, Mr. Downs, started to deny being the father of the twins, but there was more to the story. She opened her case, saying,
Ms. Looper, you say you thought the defendant was a respectful, church-going family man who turned out to be anything but. You claim that after giving birth to your twins, Brayley and Bishop, Mr. Downs denied fathering your babies. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
a lot of open doors? It looks like Ms. Looper wasn't ready to let go of the other men in her life. Judge Lauren then asked Mr. Downs to give his account of what he saw when he went through Ms. Looper's phone. He claimed that she was receiving advances from other men to sleep with them while they were together.
Just something told me to pick up the phone, and I did it, and I'm looking through the phone. I'm like, okay, and I bring it to her, and I'm seeing messages from other dudes and all this other stuff, so I'm like, what is this?
What kind of messages did you see from other guys?
Messages are just trying to, hook up with her and stuff like that. So
Is
I'm
she
like,
accepting the advancement?
yeah.
Can they slow things down? Where the hell are they running to? A wedding date in 2 months is just crazy. Now, Ms. Looper claimed that when she found out she was pregnant, Ms. Downs was the happiest man on earth. He didn't let her raise a finger to do anything, but deep in his mind, he had doubts.
He was really nonchalant about it, but once I did get pregnant, he was amazing. Cedric rubbed my feet, rubbed my belly. He would get up at 2 a.m., go get me ice and hot Cheetos. He took me to every ultrasound appointment if he didn't have work. Like, the pregnancy was good. We moved out of my 2-bedroom apartment. We got a 4-bedroom house. Like, it was good.
I want to know, what did you send in this text?
I just sent him a picture of the pregnancy test.
As I said, even though he was nice towards Ms. Looper, he had his doubts. When Ms. Looper gave birth to her fraternal twins, something crazy happened. The moment Mr. Downs saw the first twin, he immediately asked the doctors if he could get DNA done. He claimed one of the twins looked like him, and the other was the complete opposite.
As soon as they brought Brayley into the room, the first thing he said was, "Do you guys do DNA tests here? I've never had a kid come out that light." That's the first thing he said when he seen her. But he did go see my son, and he did say that he looked like him.
So when you saw Brayley, you had questions instantly. You didn't feel like you could be her father.
I mean, I know it don't really matter about the complexion and stuff, but like I said, all my kids favor me just extremely, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at Bishop.
He is not wrong about that. Here's where things get insane. Before the pregnancy, Ms. Looper told the other man she was sleeping with that he could possibly be the father of her child. After dropping that truth bomb, this was the next thing she said.
Not during the pregnancy. During my pregnancy, I was sure that it was Cedric's. Twins run in his family. We were together the whole time. The timeline, everything just added up. After I had the baby, I posted Brayley on Snapchat, and the other guy who the messages he seen wrote me and sent me a picture of his daughter and told me that, I believe that that's my daughter.
When it came to discussing the birth certificate, Mr. Downs and Ms. Looper got into an argument, and they just couldn't seem to get their story straight. Ms. Looper thought he refused to sign the birth certificate because he didn't want to be the father of her twins. But Mr. Downs explained his reason to the judge as more than that.
You leave the hospital, you need to sign a birth certificate. He never asked me about a birth certificate. He never signed it. His cousin took us home from the hospital. If he wanted to sign a birth certificate, he could have asked me to do it.
I can't.
I didn't even sign the birth certificate.
Did you not sign the birth certificate, Mr. Downs, because you really had a doubt?
As me being a father, like I said, I've never had to deal with any suspicion of any of my other kids.
That must really hurt. I honestly wouldn't want to be in Mr. Downs' shoes. To complicate things even further, Mr. Downs claimed that there was a chance he could be the father of one of the twins, while the other man could be the father of the other. This was the reason he gave for making that statement.
Do you feel like you could be the father of one twin and someone else be the father of the other?
Yes, ma'am. I just like with Bishop, I felt a much bigger bond with my son. Like every time I see him when we video chat, like his face just lights up when I'm talking to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? He knows my face, he knows who I am. And Brayley does too, to an extent, but it's just something about my son, man, when I see him and it's like we connect.
I'm going to side with Judge Lauren on that. It is beyond fascinating. After a while, their relationship went sour, and things weren't as beautiful as they used to be. Without giving any warning, Ms. Looper decided to disappear with the kids, and that just didn't sit right with Mr. Downs.
I get text messages, phone calls, hey baby, what are you doing? We miss you, we love you, da-da-da-da, this and that. I didn't get nothing one day, and I just knew something was wrong. So I get to my house, and there's nobody there. My kids are gone, she's gone, and the first thing in my mind, because my door's unlocked too.
Right.
So I'm thinking somebody done came in my house, anybody could have did something to my kids, my girl. So I'm like, man, what's going on? So I'm calling.
As far as their relationship is concerned, let's just say they will never get back together. All that matters now is finding out who the father of the twins is, and Judge Lauren is about to reveal the DNA result. Could Mr. Downs really be the father of one of the twins?
When it comes to 5-month-old Brayley Downs, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Downs, you are not the father. Mr. Downs, you are not the father. I'm very sorry. Miss Looper, do you know who the children's father is?
Yep.
Ms. Hall and her mother were furious at the defendant for refusing to help take care of their baby. The defendant, Mr. Richards, on the other hand, believed the reason she was trying to pin the baby on him was that she was obsessed with him, and there was no way he could be the father of the child.
Ms. Hall, you and your mother are furious with the defendant because he denies your 1-month-old son, Damani, and does nothing to support him. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Richards, you believe that Ms. Hall is claiming you are the father because she wants to be with you. You say Ms. Hall was thirsty for love and she needs to go find her child's real dad. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Her mother is quite furious, that's for sure. Ms. Hill claimed that a couple of years back, she and Mr. Richards used to date, and things didn't work out so well. Mr. Richards then reached out to her again, and she decided to give him another chance. But as you would expect, Mr. Richards had a different story to tell the judge.
A couple years back, he broke my heart. Then he hit me up, and I decided to give him another chance.
You all were boyfriend and girlfriend a couple years ago, or you were just dating?
We're dating.
And so he breaks your heart?
Yes.
And you didn't see each other for a while?
Yeah.
And then somehow he comes back into the picture because if he's potentially the father of
He instant messaged her, hitting her up.
Even Judge Lauren could not make sense of what Mr. Richards was trying to say. She decided to ask him to explain what he meant by the word thirsty. Trust me, what he said next left everyone in the courtroom in shock.
I knew I wasn't gonna have a long relationship with her, but when you feed somebody the lines that you know they wanna hear, that's thirst to get what you want from them.
Oh!
But yet now it's a baby involved with your thirst.
And now I feel like she's being thirsty, trying to put the baby on me.
But you got nothing.
So,
I must got something if you
I
want
just get it.
something.
So
That's why we're here.
wait. So thirst is manipulation.
Yeah.
Wow! That explains why Ms. Hill's mom is furious to the bone. Mr. Richards is just a horrible person. Now, when Mr. Richards reached out to Ms. Hill again, deep down in her heart, she was happy to hear from him. She had no idea he was back to break her heart a second time. This was how she explained the situation.
It ended bad, but in the same token, I did like him. So when he hit me up, it kind of like, oh, I think I should give him another chance. Maybe it'll work out this time. But
all right. At what point, so you all start obviously having sex again?
Yeah.
Using protection all the time or not?
No. Not at all.
So how long did this relationship go on?
Mr. Richards is definitely here for a good time, not for a long time. I mean, how do you just get back together and after a week you call it quits? That's crazy. Mr. Richards, trying to defend himself, claimed that he went through her phone and saw some funny texts, but Judge Loren slammed him like this.
I grabbed her phone and went through her phone, and the text message is from someone saying that I'm outside. So when I go outside to get the water, I look across the street, it's the same dude I seen coming out the gate. So I'm like, whoa, I didn't say anything, and I probably spent the rest of that day on the couch till the bus came. Bus came, I hopped on the bus. Soon as I got on the bus, officially on the bus, I sent the message, like, I seen the messages in your phone.
Moving on, when Ms. Hill found out she was pregnant, she refused to tell Mr. Richards about the pregnancy. She claimed she was still hurt and had not let go of how disrespectful he was to her during their time together, but her mom advised her to tell Mr. Richards about the pregnancy so so he could not deny not knowing about the baby.
Knew, but I didn't want to tell him because how we broke up and how disrespectful he was to me.
So you just kept it to yourself?
Yeah, I didn't tell nobody until me and my mom sat down and she asked me because the conception date.
When she told me her due date.
That didn't come as a shock. It's obvious he was going to deny the baby. Mr. Richards, however, kept telling the judge that there was another guy in the picture that Ms. Hill was refusing to reveal. Judge Lauren then decided to press further and ask her about the guy. And this was the confession that came out.
You testified earlier that this was some random man that lived in the house behind your house, and he was just leaving out of his house through the gate. So do we know him or we don't know him? Is he giving you gifts or is he not giving you gifts? What is this? So it's not a man that lived in the house. It was a man that was pursuing you.
Yeah, but he wasn't there that day.
So there was actually another guy in the mix. Looks like Mr. Richard wasn't lying after all. It was only right that Judge Lauren asked Mr. Richard if he saw any other evidence that made him doubt the paternity of the child. He responded to the question like this.
What else?
Other than me seeing that guy in the messages, there was just my relative heard from one of her relatives that she was living with the man the whole time she was pregnant with another man.
Never lived with
nobody.
Well, not lived with him, he lived with her, whatever.
He's saying hearsay because he don't even know that to be true.
But
he just bringing up something like he did with the brother.
That's just through the grapevines, you know, like.
Well, I guess that takes us to the DNA results. Mr. Richards was not going to accept being the father unless the results revealed that he was, and so here comes Judge Lauren's verdict.
Mr. Richards, you are the father.
Thank you.
You are the father.
Thank you.
That's your beautiful little boy. How's it feel?
Like being a dad all over again.
How do you feel in this moment, Ms. Hall? I see tears in your eyes. What are you feeling?
I'm angry because he made me like I'm just trying to frame him when I didn't want him to be my baby daddy.
In this episode, Ms. Myers is quite upset with her mom because she has no idea who her biological father is. Out of a list of 13 possible men, Ms. Myers was hoping she could determine who her biological father was in the courtroom. She started her case like this.
Ms. Myers, you have brought your mother, Ms. Madrigal, to court today because you claim she has no idea who your biological father is. You say your mother gave you a list of 13 possible men, and you are hoping to determine who your father is today. The court has located 2 of the 13 men and has already ordered paternity tests to be administered. Ms. Madrigal.
That's just sad. She hasn't had a male figure in her life since she was 13. Judge Lauren then proceeded to ask her where the list of 13 men who could potentially be her father came from. To everyone's surprise, she said the list came from her mom.
The list came from my mom telling me over approximately a year, maybe a little longer. She would always just say, you know, here's a name, you know, and I think to her it seemed like it was a joke.
Okay, Ms. Madrigal, as you're giving your daughter this list, and I do not mean this in a joking way,
right?
You couldn't narrow it down from 13?
You know,
now, these two have definitely been at each other's throats over the years, but all Ms. Myers wants is to know who her dad is. Ms. Myers then went on to explain to the judge how hard it has been growing up without a father figure in her life. She started like this.
I feel lost. You know, I feel confused. I don't know who I am. I don't know my heritage. I don't know what I'm completely mixed with. I don't know where I came from. I don't know nothing.
You came from me.
Yeah, I knew you're half of the family, but that's only half the story.
Nobody else matters.
That's only half the story.
Can't no man raise me better than you can, even though it doesn't even matter.
You
so
raised me?
save it.
You
Save
raised
it.
me?
Oh, I raised you.
No, you didn't.
I raised you.
You weren't
Monica,
even there.
stop
So
it.
anyways.
I'm not sure God is going to approve of these women bringing his name into their mess. Moving on, this daughter and mother brawl was starting to fly out of the roof. Her mother, Ms. Madrigal, tried explaining to the judge why she wasn't sure who her daughter's father was. But before she could finish the statement, Ms. Myers came at her like this.
But you gotta realize I was 17. So any calculation within that time, I could have been way off and not known. Because by the time I found out, I was 4 months pregnant with her. You see what I'm saying? So there could be a list of whomever. It's the
Now she
timing.
admits
It's
to
in the
the list.
timing. Okay.
The list that is so missing out of my diary.
Really, Monica?
Yeah,
the list that
that's
you
missing out of my
fabricated, the
diary.
13 ghosts you got in the book?
Where's it at? It's gone.
Now, Ms. Myers had met with 2 of the 13 men on the list, and the judge asked her if she was excited to have both men tested as possible fathers. She was excited and irritated at the same time. She claimed she hated one of the men in question and hoped that he would not end up being her father.
At one or both of those names?
It's the evil smile and a happy smile.
An evil smile and a happy smile. Well, who's the evil smile for?
Keith.
Keith. So I take it we don't care for him.
I don't like him. I hate him with a passion.
Wow.
Did you see it?
Why do you feel that way?
He's just inappropriate with me. When I'm at the airport, he's talking about how sexy I am.
But you are. You're beautiful. So, I mean, what's that? Maybe a compliment?
I don't know about you, but that compliment sounded a bit extreme. Judge Lauren decided to bring in one of the 2 men in question to try to determine who her biological father could be. Here's how that little situation played out.
You know, we got together, she came over, she told me she thought I was sexy, whatever, good looking. Okay, we had sex, it was a 3-minute thing. You know, 3 minutes.
She confirmed it. He swore to tell the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Okay. So, how did you find out that Ms. Madrigal was pregnant?
I did not know she was pregnant, Your Honor. I'm walking downtown Seattle where we live.
Trust me, that was quite hilarious to listen to. Mr. McCraney was in court with his daughter, and when she was asked to share what she knew and how she felt about the situation, it was one hell of an outburst in the courtroom.
As far as Monica's concerned, she's talking about, oh, he's this and he's that. Well, if that's the case, then how come you got his picture on Facebook with you and your mom talking about, oh yeah, well, is this person my dad and blah, blah, blah.
I did that because I wanted people
but
to see.
If he's such a bad guy, but if he's such a bad guy, then why would you even put him on Facebook and say, oh yeah, well, is he my dad?
Like I said, it was one hell of an outburst. Now, the other potential father, out of all the men, walks into the courtroom and is asked to give his side of the story of how he met Ms. Myers' mother. He began his side of the story like this.
Around the age 19 to 20, we had a brief encounter of sex. And then one day I seen Samantha and she gave me a baby picture and told me that you're possibly the father of this child. And then I did not see her for quite a long time after that. One day I was coming out of a building and Samantha drove up with Monica in the back seat.
Crackheads all over the courtroom. That's all I can say because this is one huge mess. The only way out of this is to reveal the DNA results. For Ms. Myers' sake, I hope she finds out who her real father is.
Mr. Smith, you are not Monica's father.
I never thought I'd have to hear that. I still love you, though.
It's okay.
I promise that.
I'll still be there for you, okay?
Mr. Keith McCraney, it has been determined by this court that you are the father.
There it is.
Did you faint, Mr. McCraney?
I see a lot of deadbeat dads on this show, but this one is on a whole other level. Miss Phillips is suing her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Gibbies, for $1,000 in childcare expenses. She's convinced he's the father of her 2-month-old daughter, Jordan, but he's been dodging paternity tests like a pro. This is gonna get Messiah.
You are suing your ex-boyfriend for $1,000 in childcare expenses you claim he has ignored since denying that he is the father of your 2-month-old daughter, Jordan, whom he refuses to meet. Today, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test to prove he is the father and are looking to recover your $1,000 child care expenses.
So right away, Miss Phillips is spilling the tea. She's telling the judge how she thought Mr. Gibbies was the one for her. But hold up, he goes to a spiritual convention and comes back telling her to hit the road. She ends up in a hotel crying her heart out.
Then he goes to a spiritual convention.
Yes.
And comes home and tells you get out.
Yeah, he told me he had to go because he was working on himself or whatever. So I was like, well, it's late. You know, can I just wait till the morning, just go to my grandmother's house? Because, you know, it was late.
It's middle of the night.
Yes, it was like 12, 1, 2 maybe. So he takes me to a hotel. I'm in the car crying, boo-hooing. I'm like, why? You know, why? He was like, he can't do this no more. He gotta do right.
Mr. Gibbies, on the other hand, isn't holding back either. He's throwing shade left and right, claiming Miss Phillips has a history of being, well, let's just say, not so faithful. He's convinced he's not the father of little Jordan and isn't about to cough up that cash.
Ignores that I'm even there. I'm asking her, I said, hey, you going with me or not? No,
And
so
she's
you want to
shaking
stay?
her head yes.
Yeah, so she want to stay here with the guy that I just got into an altercation with. Then the next event we get to.
Let me stop at that event because I need to understand from Miss Phillips now. Why is it if you came to the party with him and you guys were together when there was an altercation, why didn't you leave with him?
The only reason why I didn't leave with him because the dude was still hot. I've been around that family for years.
Now, things take a spicy turn when Mr. Gibbies spills the beans about Miss Phillips allegedly actually cheating. He's dropping bombshells left and right, claiming she admitted to being unfaithful. Trust issues? Anyone? Oh, and there's more.
She told me that, but when I first got back, she told me that she didn't. Nothing happened. I was with my brothers. That story stayed for about a month and a half until finally she broke out and said, yeah, I did cheat, but it wasn't with who I was with that night.
So the trust is going out the window, but you're still with her?
I'm still with her. Then another situation where I was with, talking to a friend of mine outside during a party, and he was telling me, I was with this one girl, man. We was in the back seat, we doing it.
Miss Phillips tries to defend herself, explaining why she didn't leave with Mr. Gibbs at a party and how she was just trying to keep the peace. But Mr. Gibbs ain't buying it, folks. He's got his doubts and he's not afraid to voice them.
I didn't even feel good about it at all. But when I go through his stuff, the bag that he took to Miami, I see condoms in the open, and they open and one missing.
Had the relationship ever been positive?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. A lot of times, like, cause it's been times that we actually did things together. I mean, we acted like a family. He had his 2 girls, I had my boy. We was, we was doing things we were supposed to do in a relationship. We just had a real relationship. It just.
Yep. Just when you think things couldn't get any crazier, Mr. Gibbs drops another bombshell about a mysterious black car incident. He's painting Miss Phillips as a real wild child, and she's not taking it lying down. The courtroom is heating up.
Statement to the court, you also talked about text messages.
I had went to jail for about 2 months, and when I got back out, the first thing I'm gonna do is go through your phone. Multiple dudes are in there making flagrant text messages. I'm horny for you, daddy, and all this other kind of stuff.
And that's a lie. It wasn't sexual.
Multiple text messages from multiple different guys. Five different numbers at least.
But yet,
I even called a couple of them back, and I'm like, hey.
With accusations flying left and right, it's getting hard to know who's telling the truth. Miss Phillips is adamant that Mr. Gibbs is the father of her daughter, while he's standing his ground, denying it all.
A long-distance relationship,
so
but how much can I do this when I'm not at doctor's appointments? I'm not there during the pregnancy of this child. the labor of this child. I'm not there. I'm absent. But even still, when she came back for her birthday, I took her out. She came back to visit for another reason. She ain't come down to visit for me. She came down to visit for another reason.
So she left?
She left.
During that time, you kept in contact, but you didn't make the effort to go down to see her.
And just like that, it's time for the moment of truth. Will Mr. Gibbs step up and take responsibility? Or will Miss Phillips be left to raise little Jordan on her own? Strap in, folks. The DNA results are in.
Mr. Gibbs, this court has determined that you are her father.
That's it.
How do you feel?
I'm completely fine with that. It never was a point where I felt like I didn't want it. Well, I mean, we got the determination, and I can move on and be a father.
I would be that nasty to not know who my baby dad is.
Ever heard of selective memory? If not, listen to this. So we've got Mr. Webb here claiming he never had any hanky-panky with Ms. Cole, but she's out here saying otherwise. His stage is set, and things are about to get wild.
There's no chance whatsoever that you fathered the defendant's 6-month-old daughter, Majestic. You say your evidence will shock this courtroom. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Cole, you and your mother say you're 100% certain that Mr. Webb is your child's biological father and say the only reason he's denying your baby is to save his relationship with the woman he's been with for the past 3 years. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Ms. Cole is convinced that Mr. Webb is the father of her baby girl, Majestic. She's not holding back, and neither is her mom, who's in the courtroom ready to spill all the tea. Mr. Webb drops a bombshell. He says he never even slept with Ms. Cole. The audience is shook, and so are we.
And I know he stayed with me for 2 months, and he slept in my bed with me for 1 night, and we had sex. April 11th.
That's when you believe you conceived your daughter?
Yeah.
Mr. Webb, this is strange. What was the nature of your relationship?
We never had sex or anything. We were just friends. We would chill out. That was it.
You were never intimate with her in any way?
I never stayed in her bedroom. I stayed out on the couch.
Miss Cole is sure that they did the deed on a wild party night. Mr. Webb insists they were just friends, chilling out, and never crossed any lines. But Miss Cole isn't backing down, and her mom is there to back her up. It's a he said, she said situation, and it's about to get worse.
When I told her to take it down, she refused to because she's crazy.
You know dang good and well that me and my husband took care of you the whole time you were there.
I didn't see you but one time the whole time I was there.
Yeah, you were in her.
All right, let's get some order.
You're right, so you need help just much.
Let's get some order. So, Miss Cole, you said you and your husband were taking care of Mr. Webb?
Yes, and my grandkids and anybody else that needed.
The judge is trying to get to the bottom of this mess, asking Mr. Webb why he was staying with Ms. Cole if he had a girlfriend. Things are getting spicy.
Let's be respectful.
So anyway, she was telling me that they were sleeping together and stuff. He wasn't even there for 3 weeks. He was there for a week, maybe a week and a half.
Just over there?
Yes, he was I knew they were hanging out.
I don't understand this, do you, Jerome?
I never knew they were talking.
We didn't even know that
I never knew
together.
they were talking.
5 or 6 times a day. How did you not
She's the
know?
one that called me with his friend.
She had heard her voice in the background numerous times. How does that make sense?
Ms. Cole recounts the night she believes she conceived Majestic. It's a wild story, and Mr. Webb is squirming in his seat. The tension in the courtroom is palpable, and we can't wait to see how this plays out.
Move on, and this is not doing either of us any good, so just do me a favor and stay out of my life in the inbox. At this point, I'm thinking, I feel like she's trying to say that I'm the baby daddy, but just hinting, not actually saying it.
All right.
Okay, so here's the second one. This is what came next. I told her, I said, I'm not trying to be mean, I just want this to end. Because I'm not a mean person, I'm not a hateful person. But when it comes to her and what she's put me through with the lies the last year.
Mr. Webb's web of lies is unraveling as Ms. Cole reveals more details about their alleged night of passion. The audience is gasping, and we're here for all the juicy details. This case is heating up, and things are about to boil over.
Did he ever acknowledge that he was the father?
He admitted to my
you are a liar.
He admitted to my cousin that he was the dad.
What do you think, Mr. Webb, is Miss Cole's motive if you say you've never slept with her? Why manufacture all of this?
I think she's obsessed with me. She's obsessed with me or something.
No.
I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure out
There's
the
one
last
reason
year.
why I'm here.
Her
To
dad
know
is.
for sure he's the dad.
The back and forth between Ms. Cole and Mr. Webb is reaching a boiling point, with accusations flying left and right. It's a showdown of epic proportions. Ms. Cole's mom is calling Mr. Webb a punk bum and spilling all the tea about their awkward living situation.
When were you intimate with the other guy?
You don't even know.
May 15th, 16th.
How do you get those two mixed up? That's over a month. How are you gonna say that you think it's him and then over a month?
Because the due date.
The due date.
The doctor gave the due date.
These are things that she has literally made herself believe. She made herself believe these lies that she's telling.
But Mr. Webb says he never slept with you.
And he did.
But he did.
For sure, yeah.
The judge is trying to make sense of it all, but the chaos in the courtroom is reaching peak levels. As the tension mounts, Ms. Cole and Mr. Webb continue to go back and forth, with no end in sight. But we don't have all day, so Judge Lake intervenes with the best thing we've heard all day. It's time for DNA test results.
Mr. Webb, you are not her father.
Oh! Yeah, you're crazy. You need to go to a mental hospital.
Ms. Webb.
There, get her there, get her there.
Mr. Webb, Ms. Reams. Stop.
But I want a lie detector.
Listen, we don't clown in this courtroom.
Ms. Mitchell claims that her childhood sweetheart, Mr. Robinson, stole her virginity and got her pregnant with their daughter, Raya-Lynn. But, hold on, Mr. Robinson is denying paternity because he found out Ms. Mitchell was allegedly sleeping with 4 other men. So much for stolen virginity.
Today, because you claim your childhood sweetheart stole your virginity, got you pregnant, and is now denying paternity of your 2-month-old daughter, Raya-Lynn.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Robinson, in your defense, you claim you doubt paternity because after Ms. Mitchell told you she was pregnant, you found out she was sleeping with 4 other men.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Mitchell testifies, saying that Mr. Robinson pressured her into losing her virginity, and boom, she ends up pregnant. One time, folks, just one time. But wait, did they use protection? Nope, no protection in sight. And that's how baby Raya-Lynn came into the picture.
Did you use protection?
No.
No protection. All right, so that's a recipe for
Disaster.
well, no, for baby making
Well, in
and
her
for
case,
responsibility
disaster.
and
In her case,
consequence.
disaster.
So hold on now, ma'am. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get to you in one moment. So you tell him you're pregnant.
Yeah. She didn't even tell me she was pregnant, Your Honor. She had one of her friends she grew up with.
Now, here's where it gets juicy. Mr. Robinson claims he only found out about the other men in the picture through some mysterious Facebook messages. Who's spreading the gossip? We don't know, but it's getting messy. Ms. Mitchell, on the other hand, is standing her ground, saying it's all a big fat lie. Who's telling the truth? We're about to find out.
And Hope was raised better than to lay around sleeping with men. And as far as him saying that he was in jail, I have proof right here that he didn't get arrested until 2 days after the baby was born.
So if he was in jail, if he was in jail, how did he get arrested again?
With my daughter in the hospital. And yes, his sister was there, and I said, well, where's Ryan?
It wasn't the day after, it was the 9th.
I'm the
Says it
one
right
that
there.
said,
Fast forward to the birth of baby Raya-Lynn. Was Mr. Robinson there to witness the miracle of life? Nope, he sent his sister instead. Yeah, he sent his sister to the birth of his child. That's a new one. But wait, Mr. Robinson tries to clear his name, saying he was actually in jail at the time.
I was picked up on more than one charge.
And I was laying in a bed for 14 hours in labor.
He literally.
And you chose to lay down in
The
the
guy-
bed. Okay, and nobody actually
You
did
had
the
nothing
same
in
as
it.
he
You
did.
had nothing in it.
Okay,
He
but-
cheated on
I
you.
do. He didn't cheat on me, sweetie. We wasn't together. I've never done anything to this girl ever. I've never disrespected her. I
immature
never
and
nothing.
childish.
Ms. Mitchell's mom, Diana, steps in with some receipts, proving that Mr. Robinson was only arrested 2 days after baby Rylan was born. So, if he was in jail, how did he manage to send his sister to the hospital? The plot thickens, folks.
She won't let her spend time with me because of Heather, which has no reason. If she is mine, she has 3 other siblings. She has 2 brothers.
0.
She has 2 brothers and a sister. Regardless if they're not mine biologically, I've raised them as mine for the last 3 years of my life. They call me father. They look up to me as a father because I've been there when their father hasn't.
The drama continues as Ms. Mitchell and her mom stand firm against Mr. Robinson's claims. Who's telling the truth in this tangled web of lies and accusations? It's a showdown of he said, she said, and there's only one way this ends, with the DNA test results.
Mr. Robinson, you are the father. So now, before I ask Ms. Mitchell if it would be okay if you meet your daughter for the first time, I have to say, concerning the arbitration.
Ms. Strong just brought Ms. McLean to court to prove that her husband is not the father of Ms. McLean's 14-month-old daughter, Angel. Yeah, I needed a minute to process that too. The plot thickens when Ms. McLean claims that Mr. Strong is indeed the father. It's another tangled web of relationships.
Ms. McLean to court to prove that your husband did not father her 14-month-old daughter, Angel. You say 1 month ago, Ms. McLean calls you out of the blue and claimed Mr. Strong was her child's father and demanded he take care of her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. McLean, you say your daughter is the product of a night of passion gone wrong, and you are certain Mr. Strong is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
It all started when Ms. Strong and Ms. McLean decided to have a threesome with Mr. Strong for their birthdays. Yep, you heard that right, threesome for birthdays. Things escalated quickly, and before they knew it, they were in court trying to figure out who the daddy is.
She did get pregnant, of which we were under the understanding there was a medical reason she couldn't.
So before you all had this threesome, you set parameters?
Yes, Your Honor.
What were the rules?
It would always be the 3 of us, never separately. If a baby came out of it, we'd raise it together, the 3 of us.
You all were this thorough?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get it in writing?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Strong, you were nervous at first.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you imagine sitting down with your friends and planning out the rules for a threesome? Well, that's exactly what these 3 did. They set parameters, like always being together and raising any potential baby as a trio. Talk about a modern family.
So you had more than 1 threesome?
Yes, ma'am.
How many more threesomes did you have?
We've had a total of 8 of them. We've
8
had
times?
8 of them since before my daughter's birth and after. 2.5 to 3 weeks after we had our very first threesome, I found out I was pregnant.
And you said you had 8 of them?
Correct.
So you were still having threesomes with them through your pregnancy?
And after.
Okay. Mr. and Ms. Strong, when Ms. McLean came and told you she was pregnant.
But wait, it gets even juicier. Ms. McLean drops the bombshell that she found out she was pregnant just 2.5 to 3 weeks after their first threesome. And get this, they had a total of 8 threesomes before and after her pregnancy. That's a lot of bonding time.
But to be honest with you, a white person and a black person can still have a white baby.
Well, no, they can't.
They technically can. Not to argue with you, look
I
it
have
up.
mixed nieces and nephews.
No,
and
what they can have
is an albino, but still.
Is a biracial child. You are correct, Miss McLean, that a black man and a white woman can make very fair-skinned children.
Damn! So Ms. McLean is in a relationship with someone else while having threesomes with Mr. and Ms. Strong. Drama alert! She kept telling her boyfriend at the time that he was the father, but with 8 threesomes in the mix, things are about to get even messier.
I haven't been around either. We were going back and forth to Chicago to all the doctors for her eye. She has a problem with her eye. It's a hemangioma. Her blood vessels grow too quickly in her eye. My daughter was more important than even contacting them.
So you said we'll deal with DNA issues later.
Correct.
Understood. But now you feel certain Mr. Strong is Angel's biological father.
I do.
When Ms. McLean finally reveals she's pregnant, Ms. Strong asks if it's Mr. Strong's child, to which Ms. McLean says no. But with all the steamy nights they've had together, who knows what the truth really is? This is like a soap opera playing out in real life.
And so you have
opened up your home and your hearts to this little girl.
Yes, ma'am.
And you as well, Miss Strong.
Absolutely.
And it's because you knew openly that you were going into this threesome situation and you all obviously weren't being responsible and using any type of extra birth control. Well, because Ms. McLean thought she couldn't get pregnant again.
She said she had an accident, which we knew about the accident, that she couldn't have children from. That's what we looked at.
As the court proceedings unfold, Ms. Strong is adamant that Angel does not look African American, which throws yet another twist into the mix. Ms. McLean argues that a white person and a black person can have a white baby, but Ms. Strong is not buying it.
She's been telling me for, a year that she's not, but I went back to the time of conception and she didn't leave my bed that night, so.
She didn't leave your bed?
No.
And she told us for a year that he wasn't the father, and that's the only reason we're here today. There would have been no question if she would have just came to us.
This is something else. When's the last time the three of you had a threesome?
2 weeks ago.
I would say 2 weeks and 3 days.
The back and forth between the parties is heating up as they try to unravel the mystery of Angel's paternity. With multiple possibilities on the table, including Mr. Strong and an African-American man, the courtroom is buzzing with anticipation. Who will be revealed as Angel's biological father?
Mr. Strong, you are not the father. I'm sorry to have to deliver that news, Mr. and Miss Strong. It seemed like you were very happy at the thought of having Angel as your little girl, but unfortunately you are not her biological father.
So we've got Mr. Fox here, who's not sure if Miss Hood is his daughter. He claims that Miss Tinker, the mother, was getting cozy with more than one man around the time of conception. Talk about a complicated family tree.
You say you've never been sure that Miss Tinker's daughter, Miss Hood, is your biological child. You claim that Miss Tinker was having sex with more than one man at the time her daughter was conceived, so it's been impossible for you to fully accept her into your life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Tinker admit to sleeping with multiple men.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Tinker is here to set the record straight after 20 years of waiting. She wants Mr. Fox to step up and take responsibility for their daughter. But hold up, she drops a bombshell. She told another man he was the father and even named her daughter after him. Drama alert.
Went around circles, played games, hung up on me, never gave me any real answer to why he's denying her.
For 20 years?
Yes, 20
Evasive
years.
for
I've been working with him.
20 years?
I've been trying to get him to understand that she's his daughter for 20 years.
But for the first 6 years, your daughter claimed that she thought another man, she was told another man was her father, and she's even named after him.
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Hood is in the mix, and she's ready to walk away if the DNA test proves Mr. Fox is not her biological dad. She's even asking the court to change her last name to his if he turns out to be the father.
Not to my knowledge that I can remember. I can remember me being 3 months later.
Not that you can remember or not.
Your Honor,
It's been 20 years, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she had other boyfriends. She's messing around with other people, too. She was smashing the homies and everybody else.
Okay, now, Mr. Fox, that's a strong allegation. Do you have proof of that? You were saying that while you were sleeping with Miss Tinker...
Miss Tinker spills the tea on how she thought another man was the father because Mr. Fox and his dad said he couldn't have kids. But wait, Mr. Fox comes in swinging, claiming Miss Tinker was smashing the homies. What a plot twist.
That might cause a doubt.
Okay, well, I can explain that, Your Honor. I can explain that.
And Your Honor, first we met at a party, drunk. Both of us was under the influence of alcohol.
Yeah.
She used to sneak outside. So while she acting like she was
because my
a
mama
church
was
girl,
trying. Yeah, I was.
She snuck out the window. She snuck out the window.
Miss Tinker defends herself, saying she wasn't smashing any homies and that Mr. Fox was the one playing games. But Mr. Fox is still not convinced, especially since Miss Tinker had another man sign the birth certificate. Miss Tinker tries to explain, but Mr. Fox is not having it.
The paternity test, and we took the paternity test and he was proven not to be her father.
So now you've had a DNA test on this other man.
Yes, I did. He took the paternity test, he came back, my daughter was 16 months when he came back. He still was a better man than you, and he still took paternity of her and let her keep his name. And I felt he was a real good man, a better man than you will ever begin to be, and I went with that.
The drama continues as Miss Tinker reveals the chaotic circumstances surrounding Miss Hood's birth. From sneaking out of windows to signing birth certificates, this family saga has more twists and turns than a pretzel.
I do at home. I didn't bring it with me because I thought it didn't matter. I thought my proof of my daughter being here looking like him was enough. I do have paternity papers.
Now, Miss Tinker, you knew you were coming to court.
Yes, I did.
When you come to court, you're supposed to bring all all relevant paperwork.
Okay, but I know I am, but I really feel as if that other man and him stepping up and taking a paternity test has nothing to do with the fact that this man seen his daughter when she was 3 years old. He's seen who she looked like. He knows she don't. He knows the other man.
As the truth unfolds, Mr. Fox's doubts are put to the test. Miss Tinker stands her ground, determined to prove that Mr. Fox is the father of Miss Hood. Will the DNA test finally bring closure to this 20-year-old mystery?
Mr. Fox, you are her father.
Like I said a long time ago, and now when you gonna stand up? When you gonna stand up and take responsibility? I know, I wasn't smashing no homies. Sorry.
Can I give a hug, Your Honor?
Absolutely.
Apologize to you too, I'm sorry.
Ms. Robinson is here, looking all fired up, telling the judge she's tired of Mr. Smith's cheating accusations. She's standing her ground, saying she's 100% certain that he's the father of her twins. On the other hand, Mr. Smith is over there looking all doubtful, claiming that his paternity doubts are ruining their relationship.
Ms. Robinson, you claim you are 100% certain that your boyfriend, Mr. Smith, is the father of your 2-month-old twins, Khalil and Keziah. You say you are tired of his constant cheating accusations and hope today's results will help save your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Smith starts spilling the tea, accusing Ms. Robinson of sleeping around with everyone and their mama. I mean, come on, really? Ms. Robinson is not having it. According to her, she's been with Mr. Smith for 2.5 years, given him 3 beautiful children, and all she's got back from him is crazy allegations.
Have you been accusing her of sleeping with everybody,
No,
Mr.
Your
Smith?
Honor. I don't accuse her with sleeping with everybody and her mama. It's only certain people I accuse her of sleeping with.
Okay, and who are those people? What's going on in the relationship?
Well, one situation, Your Honor, it's a neighbor upstairs. She came and got me from work one day. I hop out, he would confront me about a parking spot.
And then we have Mr. Smith dropping bombs about a neighbor upstairs. Apparently, this neighbor heard some things, saw some things, and even sent a creepy letter to Ms. Robinson. I mean, who does that?
He come over there unannounced all the time, popping up all the time.
Hold on, wait, no, you was lying. He came to the house one time looking for you.
He came over there multiple times without me even knowing. I'm at work.
Lord.
Why?
You gonna sit here and lie like that in court?
No.
Seriously?
Hold on, folks. Mr. Smith isn't done yet. He's now pointing fingers at his so-called friend, who he claims is like a brother to him. This friend has been coming over unannounced, flirting with Ms. Robinson and making Mr. Smith feel all kinds of ways. The courtroom is heating up, and we're just getting started.
I'm more concerned about the fact that you are consistently accusing Ms. Robinson of having sex with people outside of your relationship. But I need to know what the proof is. Have you ever caught her?
Proof. I have major proof.
He don't
major
have
proof
no
is
proof.
I was incarcerated from the 20th of July to the 3rd.
Ms. Robinson is not having any of it. She's denying all the accusations, saying she barely even knows this friend of Mr. Smith. But Mr. Smith is adamant, saying he's seen them giggling, laughing, and walking together. The tension between these two is off the charts, and we're here for every second of it.
Was Mr. Smith at the birth with you?
No. When I went to the hospital, he had left to get some food. And when he went to go get some food, the babies end up coming. He missed it, but he was up there, and then he came and seen my babies, and he gonna go out in the hallway and tell my mama, my babies look like somebody else.
They did. Neither one of them look like me.
And then we have Mr. Smith dropping the bombshell about Ms. Robinson being a screamer. Yes, you heard that right. Apparently, the walls in their apartment are paper thin, and the neighbor upstairs can hear everything. I mean, talk about awkward. The judge is trying to keep a straight face, but you can tell this case is getting crazier by the minute.
The other reason why you, that's why, hold on. Now y'all might try to out-talk each other, but you're not gonna overtalk me. Just let me get a word out. I wanna understand, if these children are not your biological children, you want your name removed from that birth certificate.
I feel like she forced my name on her anyway in the first place.
The accusations keep flying, with Mr. Smith claiming that Ms. Robinson is putting on a show for the neighbor. Ms. Robinson is defending herself, saying she's just enjoying her sexual experience. The judge is trying to make sense of it all, and the bombshells just keep on dropped.
And you still believe, though, that these children could be your best friends.
They look just like them.
So when you look at the babies, you see your best friend and not you.
Look at that, you don't see the resemblance?
Okay.
Same eyebrows, same
they do.
eyes.
Okay, they look alike, but that's not his
see
baby. I have not even slept with this man.
As the case unfolds, we see Mr. Smith getting more and more worked up about this friend of his. He's convinced that something fishy is going on between him and Ms. Robinson. The tension in the courtroom is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The DNA test results are in, and we're about to learn the truth.
Mr. Smith, you are the father.
Hey!
What are you feeling in this moment, Mr. Smith?
We been going through a lot of stuff, man. I'm feeling like, man, I'm just feeling relieved. We been going through a lot of stuff, and a lot of and accusing you all the time. And I apologize from the bottom of my heart. You won't have to worry about it no more.
Mr. Johnson is denying that he's the father of Ms. Walters' 2-year-old daughter, Amir. He's calling her a shady manipulator. Well, this is starting off spicy. Ms. Walters is not having any of Mr. Johnson's denial. She's here to prove that he's the father and wants him to step up to the plate. Let's see how this unfolds.
Mr. Johnson, you admit you engaged in a sexual relationship with the defendant while you were traveling for work, but deny her claims that you fathered her 2-year-old daughter, Amir, because you say Ms. Walters is a shady manipulator. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Walters, when you proved to him that Amir is his daughter, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Johnson is spilling the tea, saying that things were shady from the get-go when he met Ms. Walters back in 2015. They met on a dating app and things escalated pretty quickly.
Mr. Johnson, why did you question Ms. Walters' character from the moment you met her?
Because things were shady from the first day when I met her. I mean, I met her back in 2015, November, and I was just out of town, just looking to have some fun. And probably three days later, we met and we ended up sleeping together. So
how did you meet?
We met over a dating app.
Hold up, did he just say that her wedding ring fell out of her pocket while they were getting intimate? That's a red flag if I've ever seen one.
Ms. Walters, you had your wedding ring in your pocket?
The particular day that he's talking about, my wedding ring did not fall out of my pocket. The day that my wedding ring came about, it was me and 2 of my friends, well, one of my friends, I brung over for his friend, and I had my wedding ring in my pocket, and I pulled it out and put it back on. And he was like, what is that?
Exactly.
Ms. Walters is quick to defend herself, saying that the wedding ring incident didn't happen the way Mr. Johnson claims. This is getting juicier by the minute. But Mr. Johnson drops a bombshell of his own. Turns out he's married and has a whole girlfriend on the side. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black.
I already know what's up with you.
What do you know?
I know what's up.
So you're...
She getting money from another dude and spending and messing with me with it. So why would I give you
So when you're sitting in the car and the phone rings, you just sit quietly?
Yes. Yep, sit quietly.
Time, Your Honor.
Wait, so you sit quietly or she tells you to be quiet?
She'd be like, shh. I'd be like, okay.
Ms. Walters had a lot to get off her chest, too. She revealed that she was also seeing other men while dating Mr. Johnson. The drama continues as Mr. Johnson recalls the moment Ms. Walters called him to say she was pregnant. He was quick to congratulate her, but then she dropped the bomb that the baby might be his.
All right, so you knew you had condoms. You had come prepared to have protected sex.
Mm-hmm.
And it is your recollection and your testimony today, you had protected sex with Ms. Walters.
Yes, John.
So when she calls you to say, I'm pregnant, your response is, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
As the tension rises, Mr. Johnson questions where the money she received from another man went. Ms. Walters tries to explain, but things are getting heated in the courtroom. The phone call incidents in the car are brought up, with Mr. Johnson revealing that Ms. Walters would hush him up while talking to other men.
Who is this other guy he's talking about?
Well, I was dating
Some dude
this
she ain't
guy.
messing with no more.
I was dating this guy in the summer of 2014.
How dude
And
called?
Mr. Johnson went digging in old Facebook photos and screenshotting old pictures of old guys. At the end of the day...
Okay, Ms. Walters?
Oh.
Ms. Walters defends herself, saying that she had to meet another man for money while she was with Mr. Johnson. Now, Mr. Johnson is adamant that he's not the father of Amir, especially with all the shady behavior he's witnessed from Ms. Walters.
Hey, Ms. Walters?
Oh.
Yes, Your
Let
Honor.
me ask you this.
No.
Why are you so convinced Mr. Johnson is the father if there was another guy?
Because I had a DNA test with that other guy, Your Honor, and it came back that he was excluded.
One other dude.
Oh!
It came back that he was excluded.
One dude.
Did you bring evidence
One.
of that?
Yes, sir.
Let
I
me
did.
see that, please.
As the truth unfolds, it's clear that both Mr. Johnson and Ms. Walters have some skeletons in their closets. Who will come out on top in this paternity battle? Stay tuned for the next episode to find out.
Mr. Johnson, you are not the father. Ms. Walters, Mr. Johnson is not Amir's biological father. Do you know who Amir's biological father is?
Yep.
Well, after
That
Mr.
dude shouldn't mess
Johnson
with
left,
no
I
more.
did establish another relationship with someone else.
So we've got Ms. White here, who's claiming that her on-again, off-again boyfriend of 7.5 years, Mr. Holly, is the father of her daughter, Manipulator. She's demanding that he steps up and takes responsibility. But hold on, Mr. Holly is not having any of it. He's adamant that he's not the father and has some receipts to prove it.
Ms. White, you are furious that your on-again, off-again boyfriend of 7.5 years got you pregnant and refuses to do anything for your daughter. You say he better step up and be a daddy when today's results prove what you have always known, that he is Michaela's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. White is in tears, pouring her heart out to the judge about how she's been struggling to raise her daughter alone. She's had enough of Mr. Holly's excuses and is ready for him to step up. You can feel the tension in the air as she pleads her case.
So I don't want my daughter to grow up without her father any longer. It's hard taking care of her by myself, and I need help.
And I can see right now you are overwhelmed.
I'm overwhelmed because I've been through too much by myself, and it's like you can't live your life and not take care of your responsibilities. Like, I'm trying my hardest to do it, and it's been almost 3 years, and it's getting harder.
Mr. Holly, on the other hand, is not backing down. He's sticking to his story that he's not the father and is throwing shade at Ms. White for supposedly crying wolf about being pregnant in the past. The judge is not having any of it and is ready to get to the bottom of this messy situation.
We was cool for a minute, but then, we might be cool 2 days. And then for 2 weeks, she on some trip junk, so I wasn't gonna pressure her.
So when you say cool for 2 days, does that mean you were still being intimate for those 2 days?
No, I wouldn't be there. Now, I might come in on a Wednesday, we might be intimate one week out of maybe a month that I'm gone.
Ms. White recounts the moment she found out she was pregnant. And let me tell you, it's a soap opera in itself. She was feeling different, confided in someone else, and ended up pregnant. But wait, there's more! Mr. Holly chimes in with his version of events, claiming that Ms. White had cried wolf about being pregnant before. The plot thickens.
I call myself, confiding in someone else. I had, I was with someone else that night.
You had sex with somebody else?
Yes, ma'am. And at that time, I didn't think I could get pregnant, so I wasn't thinking of pregnancy. So the moment I found out I was pregnant, I immediately called Mr. Holly because I was with him more than anything.
As the tension rises, Mr. Holly drops a bombshell about their rocky relationship and how he was always on the road, transporting cars from here to Miami. He's painting a picture of a tumultuous relationship filled with ups and downs. But is he just trying to deflect from the real issue at hand?
So you admittedly have not had any relationship with Michaela, the baby, for the past 2 years?
I ain't never seen her. I seen her on a picture.
And you have moved on with your life because you are certain that she is not your biological child?
That's right.
Do you have any other doubts as to why Michaela is not your biological child?
That baby don't look nothing like me.
The judge is not letting Mr. Holly off the hook that easily. She's grilling him about his lack of involvement in Michaela's life and his refusal to even meet her. It's clear that Ms. White is at her breaking point, and she's not backing down until she gets the answers she deserves. Will the truth finally come out?
Mr. Holly, let her testify.
He's very honest about me saying that I had DNA tests done with another guy. I did, Your Honor. I told him that because I didn't want to deal with Mr. Holly keep claiming my child. I didn't want to hear him saying that she wasn't his child. I didn't want to hear that because I couldn't believe that because I've been with this man for so long.
As the courtroom drama reaches its peak, both parties are at a standstill. Ms. White is desperate for Mr. Holly to acknowledge his daughter, while Mr. Holly is adamant that he's not the father. The tension is palpable, and you can cut it with a knife. The results are in, and we're seconds away from the truth.
Mr. Holly, you are the father.
Right. Exactly. So yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. Parker. You were sincerely hoping this was your child?
I would too.
Miss Walton is here because she's convinced that her high school sweetheart, Mr. Cherry, is the father of her 1-year-old son, Josiah. But Mr. Cherry? Oh, he's not so sure. He's claiming that Miss Walton has been cheating on him left and right, and he's got some serious doubts about little Josiah's paternity.
Miss Walton, you say your 9-year relationship with your high school love is in jeopardy because he denies fathering your 1-year-old son, Josiah. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Cherry, you claim that Ms. Walton cheated constantly
constantly with another man, and you are 100% sure that he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Miss Walton is laying it all out on the table, telling the judge that Mr. Cherry has been denying Josiah, treating him differently from their other kids, and basically just not stepping up as a father.
That's my high school sweetheart, you know, so I actually have a lot of love for her. You know, I have deep feelings and emotions for her. So I'm here today just to let her know that Josiah is not mine through the cheating and the lies.
There's a lot to lose. I mean, you have this 9-year relationship, your high school sweetheart. Tell me when it started to go wrong.
It started to go wrong around the time that after high school. You know, we was on and off. I lost contact, so it got kind of...
But hold on a minute. Mr. Cherry is not backing down either. He's here to set the record straight, claiming that their entire 9-year relationship has been built on lies. Lies, lies, and more lies. And he's not about to let Miss Walton off the hook that easily.
So you said you did what you wanted to do and she did what she wanted to do. Does that mean you all were dating other people and seeing other people?
If he cheated, I cheated. If he lied, I lied. Do unto others as you want done to you.
It was pretty much fighting fire with fire.
So you all were in a tit for tat.
Yes.
He cheated first.
Okay.
I did that.
As the judge digs deeper into their relationship, it becomes clear that things started going downhill after high school. Miss Walton and Mr. Cherry were on and off, dating other people, and engaging in a whole lot of tit for tat. Cheating, lying, and controlling behavior were all part of the mix. It's like a soap opera, folks.
Basically, when I was with him, I didn't get conceived with Josiah until the week of Thanksgiving, which is on Thanksgiving Day, due to us eating and enjoying family.
Way before
you know, and we end up having sex. That's when my son was conceived. But when my son was conceived, I had stopped messing with my ex.
Miss Walton admits to cheating after Mr. Cherry strayed first, and it was a whole mess of drama from there on out. But the real bombshell drops when she reveals that she was seeing her ex around the time Josiah was conceived. Cue the gasps.
You're the one having the children in the relationship.
Yes.
So when it comes to Josiah, you've admitted that just the week prior to having sex with Mr. Cherry, you were with an ex.
Yes.
That makes the conception dates
way off.
Rocky.
Uncomfortably close.
Rocky.
Mr. Cherry is not having it. He's adamant that Josiah is not his son, pointing to the timeline of events and the fact that Miss Walton was still involved with her ex around the time of conception. The tension in the courtroom is reaching its peak, folks.
This is when I went to my family member's house. This is what she told me. She said that a guy that came over that looked something similar like me but had goals in his mouth. You know, so I asked her.
Which is not true, Your Honor, because my ex don't even have gold.
I asked her who the guy was, and she didn't say anything, you know, so a couple more days on down the line, you know, I started digging.
But Miss Walton is not backing down either. She's standing her ground, insisting that Josiah is Mr. Cherry's son, and that he needs to step up and be a father. The emotions are running high, and it's clear that this case is far from over.
So, Ms. Walton, where is his place?
Probably at his house. And at that time, he was cheating too. So why should I be faithful to somebody that's not faithful neither, Jan?
So you basically admitting that during that time you were having sex with somebody else?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I don't deny. Why lie?
You're not supposed to lie in court, so I'm glad you told the truth.
So this is my third evidence.
As the judge continues to unravel the messy web of lies and deceit in this relationship, it's clear that both Miss Walton and Mr. Cherry have a lot at stake. Their family is hanging in the balance, and the truth about Josiah's paternity could change everything.
Mr. Cherry, you are the father. Feels good to hear that?
Yes.
I can see the emotion all over your face.
This is
hard.
It's hard.
A year worth of denial being called.
I mean, this
HOE.
Hold on, Miss Wall.
This is.
So this case starts off with Ms. Cousin and her mom dragging Mr. Bell into court, fed up with his shenanigans. They claim he's the father of Ms. Cousin's 7-month-old son, Taquan, but Mr. Bell is dodging them like he's in the Matrix, blocking all contact and denying he's the daddy. And guess what? He's got a girlfriend of 6 years he's been cheating on. Talk about a love triangle gone wrong.
Miss Cousin, you and your mother say you had no choice but to drag the defendant, Mr. Bell, into court today because you're fed up with his lies.
Yes,
He denies being the father of your 7-month-old son, Taquan, and has even gone to the extreme by blocking all contact with you. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Bell, you say she's trying to use this baby to bust up your 6-year relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Cousin's mom, Sharonica, is spitting fire in the courtroom, calling Mr. Bell a two-timing liar who led her daughter to believe he was single. But wait, there's a twist. Mr. Bell's girlfriend, Ms. King, is in the mix, and she's been with him for 6 years. She's sitting there like a statue, probably wondering how she got mixed up with Mr. Slippery Fingers.
So, Miss Cousin, you're basically saying that Mr. Bell was a two-timer. He had your daughter thinking he was in a relationship with her, but he was really in a relationship with somebody else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true, Mr. Bell?
No. We went out once, but that was it. A whole weekend? No. I had to get back to her.
You went out once? A whole weekend? Yes.
Now, Mr. Bell is confident that the DNA results will kick Ms. Cousin out of his life for good. But let's be real. The only thing he's kicking is his own credibility out the window. Ms. Cousin is not having it, though. She's calling him out for mooching off her for lunches and phone bills. That's right, folks. Mr. Bell was living the high life on Ms. Cousin's dime.
Mr. Bell, first of all, let me make sure you understand something. I got this under control. I'm listening to the testimony. I'm gonna get to you. They're the plaintiffs. They're bringing this action, so I want to know why. Do you understand?
But wait, there's more. Ms. Cousin's mom reveals that Mr. Bell was playing house with her daughter, spending weekends together and having lunch dates. And Mr. Bell? He's got the nerve to say he only went out with Ms. Cousin once. Pfft, as if we're going to buy that.
End of the day, I want Cortez to step up and take the responsibility and be a man and help take care of his son. Because me and my husband have been doing it for the last 7 months. Buying milk, strollers, walkers, baby bed, car seat, everything. That take a toll on me. Destiny was on a good route.
The plot thickens when Ms. Cousin spills the beans that they were more than just lunch buddies. They were getting cozy multiple times, and Mr. Bell was all about it until the baby came into the picture. Now he's acting like he doesn't know her. Classic move, Mr. Bell. Classic move.
Once you know that, right?
No.
And so, what was the nature of the relationship in your mind?
We met at work. I only seen her outside of work maybe twice. We was never together because I had to go home to her. I was staying with her and my kid.
Were you flirting with her at work?
Yeah.
And here comes the kicker, folks. Mr. Bell's girlfriend, Ms. King, did some detective work and found out about the affair through a mutual friend. She saw Ms. Cousin's social media, all decked out with pictures of Mr. Bell. But Ms. King thought it looked immature compared to her own relationship with him. Oh, the irony.
No.
Well, you said you already ate the food because she was buying it.
Yeah, she offered.
So, Mr. Bell, you said this was a one-time thing when you had sex with...
In a car.
Oh, okay, so you had sex in a car. Did you use protection?
Yes.
No lie.
Yes.
No lie. Miss Cousin and her mom, they're claiming that this was going on. This was an ongoing relationship. That's not true?
No.
Ms. Cousin is tearing up, telling us how Mr. Bell came over to see the baby once and had the audacity to ask for sex. And get this, he had a flat tire and needed help from Ms. Cousin's family to fix it. Talk about a freeloader. But Mr. Bell denies it all, saying he's never even been to their house. Yeah, right. And I'm the tooth fairy.
How did it go?
When I came home, I called him. I said, I'm pregnant. He said, oh, well, call me back. Let me know what you gonna do. And that was it, and he hung up the phone.
Did you tell your manager at work?
I told my manager because that's the day that my back was hurting. She said,
and she
you
told
could go.
me the baby wasn't mine. I don't want
Why
the baby by you anyway.
Judge Lake is not having any of Mr. Bell's nonsense. She's calling him out for his constant interruptions and side comments. She's laying down the law, telling him to be mad at himself for getting into this mess. Preach, Judge Lake, preach.
Well, we just want it to be over with, Your Honor, because we really want him to help take care of this baby. You know, Destiny just got a new job now, and I want her to stay positive. I want her to go to college. That's one thing that I want her to do.
Hoeing around.
Well, you can say whatever you want to say at the end of the day. How you know what she was doing when you...
All right, let's get some order. Let's get some order.
Now, Ms. King is finally speaking up, and she's as quiet as a church mouse. She's never heard about Mr. Bell visiting Taquan or anything about a flat tire, but she admits her father has an Impala, which is the car Ms. Cousin mentioned. Things are starting to connect like dots in a children's activity book.
Do you believe he just slept with her one time in the back of a car?
Part of me, yes. You know, because he's always with me.
Miss Cousin, I want you to tell the court the nature of your relationship.
We slept together 3 times, unprotected, and he know that.
Where'd you all go?
We'll go anywhere.
Where we went?
The moment of truth is upon us, and the DNA results are in. Is Mr. Bell really Taquan's father, or was he right to have dodged all those bullets? Let's find out.
Mr. Bell, you are the father.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You silent now?
I'll take my child support papers in the mail.
You've been chirping off all day.
All day.
You could not let them get a sentence out without downplaying everything they said. Everything.
After an on and off relationship with the defendant for 8 years, Ms. Hoddle finally decided to call it quits. She was furious that the defendant was no longer willing to accept her and her child and is in court today to try to prove to him that he is the father of her child. The case began like this.
Ms. Hadel, after 8 years off and on with the defendant, the two of you called it quits just 3 months ago because he denies your 1-year-old daughter, Amarella. Now, you want to prove to him that he is her biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. We have had a rough road throughout these 7.5 years, 9 months into our relationship.
It seems like they both have reasons not to trust each other. Now, all this while, the defendant, Mr. Andrews, was not treating her child with the same love he showed his other kids. In his defense, he claimed he couldn't trust Ms. Haddle, and he had an exhibit to show why.
No, it's not right. That's due to the things that she done said and done. She told me 2 different names that my child could be somebody else's child. So how can I trust that? Then at the same time, I received a text message.
Hold on. You brought an exhibit.
Correct.
Is that what is contained in the exhibit, that information?
Yes, it is. I let you have it any time, and now you chicken, you scared to come over.
Ms. Hadel, is that what these text messages
No.
said?
I can't tell you word for word. It was
I know
sexual.
word for word.
At least she didn't deny the fact that she was having sexual conversations with another man. However, Mr. Andrew was not done explaining the reasons why he felt he could not be the father. Trust me, the next piece of evidence is going to blow your mind out of your brain. Take a look.
So next piece of evidence, you jumped out of the window at 3 a.m.
Correct.
Who jumped out the window?
She did.
I was trying to get free from him.
But see, the whole
He's
thing
crazy.
is, she leave the house every time. It's always when a private call come, or it's after 3 a.m. That's the only time he able to get away from his wife, so-called.
What?
It was that said.
Oh wow, Ms. Haddle is one sneaky little woman, all right? Who sneaks out of their house by 3 in the morning? Moving on, Ms. Haddle told the judge that over time she changed and was trying to be a faithful woman to the defendant, but the judge was not buying that. She then went on to drop this truth bomb.
How were you being a good woman? And look, I'm not saying he was perfect either, because I'm getting to you next.
No doubt.
But how were you being a good woman and you admit that you were on the phone with men, getting text messages, going out, finding comfort, flying out the window at 3 a.m.?
This was after 7.5 years. Like, this stuff built up. It was more or less, you're doing this to me.
3 children outside of their relationship? Come on, Mr. Andrew, that's a bit far. Even Judge Lauren couldn't hide her disappointment. Anyway, Mr. Andrew still wasn't done with his list of evidence. He had more to show the judge, and this was the next one on his list.
3 children? Let me get back to this exhibit. Found a condom
so
in the
at least
car.
I was using protection and it ain't no one else.
Do that. But she know I'm the one who take my daughter to daycare every morning. I'm the one get the dress, take daycare every morning. Little dirty people couldn't even take the condom and throw it away.
If you found a condom in the car.
So wait.
I showed you.
I bet you weren't expecting that evidence. After all the evidence was displayed, Judge Lauren turned to Ms. Haddle and asked her to defend herself. She began by saying that she wasn't feeling enough comfort and security in the relationship, and that's why she cheated.
And out of spite, she just go to running her mouth, and when she get mad, she'll tell herself.
He's full of it. But I apologize, Your Honor.
She told me 2 other men was daddy.
His mouth,
which
from the time I wake up in the morning till the time I go to sleep, does not stop. And all he does all damn day is talk about how bad of a person that I am. So when I went out and cheated on him.
Judge Lauren sure wasn't buying her story, and she made it very clear. In no time, Mr. Andrew and Ms. Haddle got into an unending argument about how they were both at fault for the situation they were currently in. Believe me, at some point, all the judge could do was sit back and watch them rant.
As I stated, May 2014, when I got with him again, as in, let's work it out, we were planning to have a child because I wanted a boy. So why would I sleep around with other people if I'm in love with him and I'm trying to make it work?
No, you wasn't. You were in love with the other guy.
Okay. All right.
Oh, she has had enough of both of them. It got so bad that she had to give them a scolding session. All they did in the courtroom was argue about who was cheating and who wasn't cheating. What was even more upsetting was that they never mentioned their child at all.
So either way, it's not right. And I want this to be done and over with so that we can move on. At least my kids will know everything that Daddy was saying about Mommy is wrong.
I mean,
and then let's be honest. Stop talking. You can't be proud of yourselves. The situation is hideous. It's just listening to you all. I can only imagine what these children have witnessed and what they've heard.
Oh well, it doesn't look like these two are ready to reach an agreement and find a way out of their messy situation. Let's see if the DNA results will reveal the truth they have refused to tell the judge. Here is the verdict.
Mr. Andrews, you are the father.
You have tears in your eyes. How do you feel in this moment?
I love her regardless. It's my daughter's sister, so it didn't make me no difference if I was or wasn't. I just wanted to prove.
Oh, it didn't?
Yes, it did.
I'm tired of you talking in circles, Mr. Andrews.
In this case, Ms. Martinez claimed that her family had hit a roadblock when the defendant, Mr. Hernandez, decided to deny both of her children. She was in court to prove to the defendant that he was the father of both her children. The whole situation began like this.
Ms. Martinez, you say your family is torn apart since the defendant has denied both of your children, 4-year-old Richard II and 3-year-old Renee. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're currently behind more than $6,000 in child support and refuse to care for either child until it is proven that you are their biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
He had better have a solid for neglecting those kids of the fatherly love they deserve. Clearly, they have a lot of figuring out to do because their relationship is a mess. The judge then proceeded to ask them how their relationship started in the first place. Mr. Hernandez took the floor by saying this.
We first met, she was trying to get all over me or whatever from the beginning, but I ignored her.
Okay. And what were your intentions, Mr. Hernandez?
It started getting serious. I mean, well, I felt like it was, and I don't know, I wanted to be with her. All of a sudden, I find out she's doing other things with my friends and stuff.
Doing other things like?
It's one incident he's talking about, Your Honor. It was a one-time thing.
Let's just say Ms. Martinez was not ready to be in a relationship, and Mr. Hernandez would not take no for an answer. Now, here's where things get really intense. A couple of weeks before she got pregnant, she got intimate with one of Mr. Hernandez's friends, and all hell broke loose.
Okay, let me tell you about that, Your Honor. We were still on and off, right? I called her, and she's like, I'm with this person, which is my friend. And I was like, okay. Next day, I talked to her. She's like, okay, yeah, I did have intercourse with this man. I forgave her. And a few weeks later, she finds out she's pregnant.
Is that true, Ms. Martinez? Were you intimate with another man a few weeks before you told him you were pregnant?
Yes, I did have intercourse with him 3 times.
She might have been sleeping around, but he had no right to call her that. Judge Lauren was going to lose her temper if he didn't check his tone. After going back and forth about the conception dates and when she conceived, Mr. Hernandez went on to drop this truth bomb.
They induced me on my due
Which
date,
gives me doubts
and then I
too.
had to have an emergency C-section right after.
In your mind, you say this is his child.
Yes.
In your mind, Mr. Hernandez, you're saying, I'm thinking back to a few weeks before that when she admitted to me she was intimate with somebody else.
Yes.
And I'm also thinking about the fact that this this date has been induced. It's not the natural birth date.
Wow. She actually told him the baby was not his. That would have been a hard pill to swallow. Now, Mr. Hernandez claimed that after she dropped that bombshell on him, he didn't want to have anything to do with her anymore. But before he could finish his statement, Ms. Martinez stopped him and said this.
You didn't show back up to the hospital in time. You got angry.
And I said, that's why you're not the father.
But once she said that, Mr. Hernandez, then all your bells start ringing.
Yes.
But see, Your Honor, I don't see how he can say that.
It pushed me to the point where I didn't even want to be there for her no more. At the surgery, I didn't want to see my son anymore. I didn't want to be with her.
Your Honor,
he
does this flip-flop every other day. He's begging for his family one day.
Ms. Martinez might be speaking facts. If he does not believe the kids are his, why did he sign the birth certificate? Moving on, Mr. Hernandez's doubts had taken over his mind. They got so bad that the judge had to tell him the truth to his face.
What does that have to do anything?
Exactly.
You think she slept with your friends?
Yes, Your Honor.
And now the kids look like them.
Yes,
they
every
look
time
like
I see them,
everybody.
there's something different about them every single day.
Kids change every day.
I understand
Ms.
the facts
Martinez,
of
how does
what-
this affect these
the way
kids? This
she's
is what
acting.
I'm worried about.
Does
he say this out loud?
Yes, he tells them to their face that, oh, you want to go see your father, and he'll say his friend's name.
Ugh! Does he even want to be the father of these kids? Because it sure doesn't feel like he does. Trying to prove to the judge why he still had heavy doubts about being the father, he went on to say that after she gave birth to the second child, his friend showed up and said this.
Okay, Your Honor. Well, with our second son, we were at the hospital. The man that she named after him, just all of a sudden, as soon as he's born, called me and says, hey, I'm outside. And I was like, whoa, how did this man even call me right now? I haven't spoke to him in months. Why would he even call me? And why would he even be outside? I get down there, I'm talking to him. He wants to come upstairs and, hey, can I see your son? Well, you didn't do this with my first son. Why would you want to?
That's a very valid question. What was he thinking signing all the birth certificates if he had this much doubt? That's not how it's done. Hearing all of that, Judge Lauren had no choice but to scold him once again. And she began like this.
Well,
But you sign birth certificates.
Yes.
And then you voluntarily don't participate.
I do.
So you're in arrears in more ways than one.
When she asks of it, I will do it. But most of the time, she doesn't even call me and ask me and say, hey, I need this or that.
She shouldn't have to call you.
Thank you.
You signed the birth certificate. See, Mr. Hernandez, this is why I'm being tough on you.
Let's pray all she said gets to his head, or he might end up in her courtroom again. Enough of their drama, wouldn't you say? The results are finally ready to be revealed. And now we'll know if Mr. Hernandez's doubts were valid after all.
Mr. Hernandez, you are his father. So you are the legal father and the biological father.
Like I said.
Of both boys.
So can you step up now?
I can.
What I've heard in this courtroom through this testimony as to what has been said and what has transpired in front of these children is shameful. It's deplorable.
For this couple, everything was hanging in the balance. Mr. Mason claimed he had spies who caught his wife having affairs with multiple men outside of their relationship, and now he doubts he is the father of their 1-year-old child. He began his case like this, and
Mr. Mason, you say today will determine the future of your relationship with the defendant, Ms. Malone. You say you lost all trust when you set up a watchdog to keep tabs on Ms. Malone and discovered that she had men coming in and out of the house while you were at work. And now you believe 1-year-old Avery is not your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Their relationship actually kicked off with a really good start. Along the line, their relationship got a little wishy-washy, and the very sweet relationship they once had became a nightmare they couldn't wait to get out of.
I found out that she was doing a lot of sneaking around when I was in the house.
What kind of sneaking?
Going through the alleys, meeting people.
In the alley?
In people's cars.
You were walking in the alleys, Ms. Malone?
Yes, I was sneaking around, in fact, but there was a break.
You were sneaking around doing what?
Seeing other guys.
Living together, and they claim to be on a break in their relationship, like Judge Lauren asked, how do we's? That work? Anyway, Judge Lauren then asked Mr. Mason to explain what he meant when he said the defendant, Ms. Malone, was sneaking around. He started by saying this.
I had somebody tell me that she was going out the back door and down the alley to jump in somebody's car.
I was actually coaching a local cheerleading team in our city, and a guy had came to pick me up to take me to our game that we had that day. It was no relations, it was, we were strictly friends, and that was it.
Ah! She finally comes out with the truth. It looks like she still wanted to have some fun before settling down with Mr. Mason. After Ms. Malone revealed the shocking truth, Mr. Mason went on to tell the court that he had hired a spy to monitor his wife while she was sneaking out of the house.
I had a friend watching my front door who lived right across from where we lived at.
Oh, you had a watchdog, right?
Yes, Your Honor, every time I went to work. She blamed it on because me and her wasn't having any intimacy or anything like that.
Do you remember that confrontation, Ms. Malone?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what did you respond?
I told him that it was my father that came to the door, and he actually asked my father, and my father said, yes, I came over there that day.
Oh, wow. So, Ms. Malone wasn't riding the bus with only one man. She must really love to explore. To complicate the whole situation, Ms. Malone was sleeping with both the other guy and Mr. Mason during the window of conception.
Okay, so let me say this. When it comes to the window of conception, that's what's relevant as it relates to the paternity. So when you cheated, when you were out with this other person, was that during the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
So when you found out you were pregnant, did you tell the other guy it could possibly be his child as well?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
At least she was honest with Mr. Mason about her sleeping with the other guy, but she wasn't completely honest. Even though she told Mr. Mason she was intimate with another man, he claimed that she did not particularly tell him to his face. This was how he found out like this.
I had to find out about the other guy from waking up out of my sleep, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, he did not.
What happened?
I overheard a conversation between her and another individual about she found the other guy on a website and how much Avery and the other guy and the other guy's child look just alike.
Could you really blame him for reacting that way? I mean, he just had the worst news of his life. What was she really expecting? Now Mr. Mason wasn't done revealing why he had doubts about being the father of the child in question. Trust me, there were more truth bombs to be told.
Your Honor, at first it was 2 guys that popped up at our doorstep saying they were Avery's father.
What?
There was a guy that came to the doorstep
You said
that I had relations with.
Then you narrowed down to one.
But we actually wore protection, so he was out the question.
Well, you can't argue with that. The babies don't look like Mr. Mason, but they sure look like their mother. Enough was heard from Mr. Mason and Ms. Malone, and the judge decided to hear from a third party. She asked Ms. Malone's mom to come into the court, and this was what she had to say.
I have to ask you, do you believe Mr. Mason is your granddaughter's biological father?
No, I do not, because they were on a break when she was conceived, and I knew that my child was seeing someone else because they were on a break. To me, she doesn't look like him, and I was in the room when she was born.
It doesn't look like Ms. Malone's mom is a fan of Mr. Mason, but that was not the only shocking thing to be revealed in the courtroom. Apparently, Ms. Malone happens to be 6 months pregnant, and just like the child in question, Mr. Mason does not believe he is the father.
Because in the court papers, it says that Ms. Malone is currently pregnant again.
Yeah.
How far along are you, Ms. Malone?
I'm 6 months, Your Honor.
Is there a question as to the paternity of this child as well?
Yes, Your Honor. He doesn't think that the unborn is his.
In my opinion, these two need couples therapy because this is just one big-ass mess. Well, you know what time it is. The only way out of this situation is to reveal the truth, hiding in the DNA results.
Mr. Mason, you are not her father. What are you feeling in this moment, sir?
I'm mad, Your Honor, but I can't be really mad about something that I already knew.
Mr. Mason, you are the father.
Mrs. Simmons was in court claiming that the defendant, Mr. Burgess, begged her to have his child. And the moment she told him she was pregnant with his child, he turned his back on her and disappeared. The court case began like this.
Ms. Simmons, you claim that the defendant begged you to have his baby, but then disappeared when you told him you were pregnant. Yes. So you're here to prove to Mr. Burgess and his fiance that he is your son's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. We was talking online at first, and we was talking over the phone, and he had told me he was single and everything. And then I had came to his house.
Looks like Mr. Burgess lied his way into kicking it in bed with Ms. Simmons. Diving right into the drama of the case, Judge Lauren asked Mr. Burgess how frequently their sexual adventures occurred. He claimed it wasn't a lot, but Ms. Simmons called him a fat-ass liar.
How often did you have sex, Ms. Simmons?
We was always having sex.
That's not true, Your Honor. When I met online, I talked to her once or twice. I got her number, and we went from there. And she came over maybe once or twice.
You a liar.
Started three times probably a week for up to between 2 to 3 months.
No, you a liar. I was over there almost every day.
From Ms. Simmons' confession, they seemed to be kicking it in bed a lot. Now, while Ms. Simmons was dropping her truth bombs, she claimed anytime they had sex, the condoms were always breaking. So, Judge Lauren decided to ask Mr. Burgess why he felt he could not be the father. And this was his response.
Sex with her, and she says the condom was continuously breaking to the point where you all just stopped using them. How is it that you can definitively say that you are not Malachi's biological father?
He only saying it because she here.
No, I ain't saying that.
So you believe, Ms. Simmons, that he's just saying this to protect the relationship, to try to save the relationship?
Like he only doing that because at the end of the day, first of all, he was like, oh, we don't need no DNA test.
Well, at least he was honest. Anyway, after Mr. Burgess was done explaining his doubts, Judge Lauren then asked Ms. Simmons if she had told Mr. Burgess about the pregnancy the moment she found out.
Oh, the man asked me, even though we was having sex at the time, he was like, I want you to have my baby. I want to have a daughter because I already have a son. And I want you to have my daughter because I'm a lie. You's a lie.
She's lying.
No, you's a lie. So anyways, the day I took the pregnancy test, I had sent him a picture of the 2 pregnancy tests I took. So he was taking too long to respond, so I had called him. And when I spoke on the phone with him, I was crying because I was like, I'm just starting to get into my life. I was going to school.
Did he just say he didn't know her real name? Oh, come on, Mr. Burgess. I don't believe that for a second. When he found out about the baby, as you would expect, he was going to accept the child. He told Ms. Simmons that the baby could not be his, and that she needed to find the real father.
I said, I was like, who baby that is? That for real? I was like, that ain't my baby. I said, we're gonna have to find out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told her. Because, I wasn't finna take care of no child that ain't mine. You know what I'm saying about?
Well, you ain't taking care of him now. He's
real
yours,
talk.
so.
Real talk, I wasn't finna take care of nobody else baby if it ain't mine.
Were you supportive during the pregnancy?
I wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there. He left after I told him that I was pregnant. A month later, he was gone.
She didn't have a phone.
Gone.
If we're being honest, that's not surprising. I mean, he doesn't want to be the father, so why would he stick around? The drama was getting very intense, and Judge Lauren felt she needed to hear from Mr. Burgess's fiancée. When she walked to the podium, this was what she had to say.
How did you find out about Miss Simmons?
I found out about her
through his phone.
I went through his phone. He came to Alabama to visit me one weekend. But I noticed the whole time that when he was there, his phone was off. So it came to the point to where we had to take him to the bus station to catch his bus to get back to Atlanta. So he had to charge his phone up. But as soon as it comes on, 2 text messages pop up. He ended up falling asleep.
The fiancé and baby mama get on the phone. That never goes well in any situation. After his fiancée had a conversation with Ms. Simmons, she decided to confront Mr. Burgess about the situation, and that did not go well either.
My cousin been using my phone, so it's probably somebody he know. I called from my phone first. She didn't answer.
Okay.
So I called from his phone. I asked her who was she and what was going on between her and Chris, and she went to the fact of, man, you tripping. What you worried about it for? Ask him. So I said no.
That's
called
who your
you.
relationship with.
So I said no. I'm gonna ask you. So I guess she hung up. But any kind of wish.
Mr. Burgess is in the hot seat now, that's for sure. In no time, baby mama and the fiancé get into a brawl, and trust me, it's not a nice one. Mr. Burgess's fiancé tells the judge that she told Mr. Burgess that the baby was his, but Ms. Simmons called her a liar, and this is how it played out.
Petition this court for the paternity because of the fact that Chris and I kept telling him that this is his child.
No, you
Regardless
didn't.
of what,
No, you didn't.
You don't know what I tell him.
No, you
don't
didn't.
know what I tell him.
I know what you sent to my phone. That's
what
I know.
I sent to your
That's
phone,
what I
but you don't know what I tell
Well, at the
this
end of the day,
man.
don't sit
I've
there and
been
lie.
with him. I've been with him.
Okay,
I know
and
this.
obviously we
She
both
can't
been
tell
with
me.
him.
She
I'm
can't
just the one
tell.
with
She
the
can't
child.
speak on nothing.
Let's see if her decision to marry Mr. Burgess still stands if the baby ends up being his child. Anyway, the DNA results are sitting pretty with the judge, and the truth is ready to be unleashed. Let's see who the father of the child is.
Mr. Burgess, you are the father.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Miss Simmons, don't clown. Don't clown.
I'm sorry.
Don't clown.
I'm sorry.